Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, here to show you the secret about cap breakers that will change the 2K26 builder forever. So, I want to start you off in the video with information that's already been posted on my channel. We won't spend too long on this one, but I want to put this on for anybody that isn't familiar with this game-breaking change that is shown right here with the cap breakers of how when you can put a plus 14, 12, 10, 8, and 6 on a build that has like 25 for instance, you get it all the way up to 75. That's plus 50 on your 3-point rating just for 5 cap breakers. Now, what is in today's video is very similar to this type of concept right here of min-maxing your cap breakers to points that are ridiculous cost in the builder, but being able to get like crazy usage out of them, and how fine-tuning the build is very specific and important. I'm gonna get straight into this because I know I'm probably losing some of you already. So let me start you off with a very simple mindset, right? I was going into this looking for a shooting guard build for Pro-Am that I was gonna go really low ball handle with, for instance. Be cool with like it not being a secondary ball handler quite as much, just be more of a spot up, you know, 3-and-D kind of guy, could switch everything on defense and stuff like that too, even still. And this is the type of build that we had in mind, you know, 92 perim, and then with no cap breaks in mind, you know, was gonna set it up for the 92 perim, 89 3-point, all types of stuff like that, 75 speed with ball, 71 ball handle. Now, that 75 speed with ball, 71 ball handle is what I want you to really pay attention to in this video, while still maintaining something like 92 perim as well. So, as we go on, I have a lot of different screenshots of these. I have captions of them, so let me just give you the big overview, right? We have no ball handle cap breakers, and then we have ball handle cap breakers. I'm looking for the ones that actually have the ball handle cap breakers. Now, check this out, right? I put the perim D down on this build to 87 instead of 92, and what do I see? I see that the ball handle can go up to 86 right here. You get plus 5, plus 4, 3, 3. Now, looking at a build like this in terms of how you would apply your cap breakers, this is min-maxed really good, right? In terms of what we just saw. The last one had no usage of cap breakers. It didn't really have any ability to get better, to be honest with you. It was going to be a lot of mid stuff that's not super important to me, at least, while making the build. This can correlate to you and your builds very much so if you want to just fine-tune and tweak a lot of your different ratings and stuff like that. But again, now we'd have to put plus 5 to the perimeter defense because that's the intention that I had right here, right? It was going to be something like plus 5 perim to get back to 92, and now we have the ability to unlock like the ball handle with the cap breakers essentially as well. So it was like, now when I see something like that, I'm a little disappointed in it because now I'm thinking, oh well, that's like, it's cooler long term, but now I have to plan for, you know, 9 cap breakers for this to be able to get it like to 86 ball handle and still get 92 perim, all while though having those combinations of ratings while keeping everything right here is really cool. That's like fire, to be honest with you. And I'll show you guys the build at the end just to show you how fire this kind of a build works. But I kind of want to make a separate build video on it. So now when I see something like that, I'm going to try and fine tune it a little bit, right? As you can see, I go up to 89 perimeter D, just thinking, oh, well, you know, I can maybe try and go up, instead of it being 87 and putting 5 cap breaks on it, I can maybe move the perim D up to 89 and make it so it's just plus 3 cap breaks on that. See if it allows me to still keep the ball handle and speed with ball. Well, ball handle more so. Turns out, no, you can't get that. This is like the exact same build in most cases, like, and I didn't really change much on it. Just understand I'm trying to like fine tune the build, looking for, you know, specific ways that I can get that ball handle cap break potential for the build, while maybe just trying to raise the perim D and find ways for me to not have to spend 5 cap breakers on perimeter defense, you know? So I'm gonna allow you guys to see when I switch the screens now, because I feel like it's gonna be a lot easier to see. But boom, when you see this flash right here, right? Now it's me going down on the perim D to 88 and like, you know, fine tuning the build a little bit, putting different ratings on it and stuff like that. This is the 88 one we're looking at right now. And even still, I can't get speed with ball, I can't get ball handle for cheaper. It's like a weird system that works with this builder. And I know it's going to be kind of hard to follow, but pretty much from the 89 perim D build that we have right here, what I was able to get with that 1 extra rating, and if you're just trying to track where it went, was agility, and then I took the dunk up by 5 as well to this one. So for that 1 perim D, it gave me like 5 dunk, 1 agility. Not like I'm trying to find anything in specific as far as like, you know, setting it up that way, but I just want to allow you to understand this video, because it's not so much you watching my build like and how I wanted to go about it, but more so just like to understand how this can correlate to you and get the big picture of like the punchline here at the end that we like kind of set you guys up for. So I then went from this build, the 88 perim D one that we were just on, went down to 87, tried to see if that was the, you know, deal breaker with the speed with ball, and no, it still wasn't. So we already showed you guys a build that had 87 perim D, but then was able to get the ball handle up with like the plus 5, plus 4, plus 3, stuff like that. This is an 87 perim D build right here as well, but then we still can't get the ball handle up. So let's try and do some science on that, right? Let's compare the two builds. We'll show this one right here, and then also this one right here. Okay, so I just gave this a very thorough look just to double check things and make sure that the only things that were changing between these two builds were free throw and standing dunk. Unbelievable, if you ask me, that the difference between how much you upgrade your free throw and standing dunk, and it's not just as simple as that. There's many different things that probably go into this build in terms of like the min-maxing of like figuring out the cap breakers and stuff, right? But imagine, let me pull over 1, 2, 3. This is where I had to go to get to the build that's the exact same thing, but with lower standing dunk, higher free throw. Imagine you're someone that went 40 standing dunk and 87 free throw on your build and made this build right here, not really planning around the cap breakers at all, and you come to find out that if you would have literally just gone lower on your free throw and 5 higher on your standing dunk, 1, 2, 3, come over here, that you would eventually be able to get your ball handle on that exact same build to 86 instead of a max of like, what, that'd be, I believe the other one was a max of, we can come back to it, 5 more plus 1, so you could get it to 76. But the problem with that is obviously you're spending 5 to even get it that far, and then, you know, if we compare to this one, it's 4 as a max to even get it to just 86. So point being, this is a really important thing to look at when it comes to making your builds. Now, I'm telling y'all this much, it really does suck that like you have to have a cap breaker to be able to view stuff like this. And let me go to the game real quick and show you what the kind of science I was putting in and all the time I was putting into something like this. But stay tuned, because we have something even more broken than this build right here in terms of the utilization of the cap breakers. And one more tip, I just want to show you guys what I was up to though. So this was indeed a journey. You're going to see from save file 4 all the way to save file 14, I made this exact same build and went into the actual like my career of it, had to skip the, you know, skippable cutscene, like stuff like that, blah, 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 load up into the builder, look at the cap breaker, right? That's how I got these screens right here, all of these screenshots. I would actually load into the build after creating it and take a screenshot of the cap breakers that it actually can be applied to. So unfortunately, hey, I know a lot of y'all aren't gonna like that at all. I understand. I don't like it either, as far as like, you know, it's a lot of min-maxing stuff. I really wish they would allow us to see the cap breakers in the builder rather than actually having to create the build, then go in and look at stuff like that. But this is the reality that you're gonna have to face and live in this world of like having to go into the build and actually look at the cap breakers and stuff. So anyway, that is what I was up to. All of these, like, as you can see, even the name change at some point too. Like at one point it was the physical 3&D cleaner, then it was the chaos build right here as well. So eventually it ended up changing into that pretty steadily, as you can see, with all these changes that I ended up making. But the fine-tuned one at the very end right here, I want to show you guys these screenshots now. So let's come over to the captures real quick. I'll just take you through the whole process of how this works. And again, mind you, all of these captions, right? So we have ball handle, but took both down by 5. Now this is where things started to make a bit of a change. Now I instead went to decide like, oh, you know what, I'll try and what if I can get per MD for the same cost of what I was able to take away from the ball handle and speed with ball, and what if you can maybe take those down, and what if you still get those cap breakers? Well, check this out. So now you'd have to, with the same type of build, put 1 cap break into speed with ball and 1 cap break into ball handle to essentially get the same thing. It would be 70 ball handle instead of 71. Understand that, right? But the thing is, that build we showed previously right here had that 71 ball handle, but it only had 4 cap breakers that it could actually do because it maxes out at that 86 ball handle anyway. Well, come back to this build right here once again, and I'm sorry, I'll probably cut some of this stuff. I already have been, because the, you know, cuts between the screens just seem to take a little while on Xbox. But anyway, come to this build right here, if you still put all 5 of those cap breakers on in the ball handle instead of the 4 that you got on the last one, you get 85 ball handle on this build instead of 86. So there are some cases where that's like okay, right? It's not going to be a big deal to miss out on that 86 specifically. That might be a big deal for some different ratings. It's like, you know, ankle assassin on silver technically is the only difference, but we don't really care about that. What I'm trying to get is something like 85 ball handle for a lot of the good SIGs, while also keeping 75 speed of ball, and have that 92 per MD, and figure out the most effective way to do that while being like cost efficient in terms of how to utilize the cap breakers, because we want as few cap breakers as possible in terms of, you know, using these things so we can get it as soon as we can. So going to the next one, both down by 5 and tuned up per MD. Guess what? Turns out you can keep 92 per M while also having 70 speed with ball and 65 ball handle. This is big. This is huge. I did make some tuning changes. Obviously, as you can see, maybe I took like the agility down, the driving dunk, stuff like that, blah, 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 the free throw, etc., etc. But final product, whole point, is that we have the ability to get 85 ball handle on this shooting guard build, get the 75 speed of ball, and only spend 6 cap breakers to do so. So it's attainable. This is something that I could have like literally by the time my crew hits level, or the rewards on the crew for being in it for a week actually become available to you. And that's like 3 or 4 of them, plus like the 3 cap breakers that I have right now. So this is very interesting. Now I then want to show you one more like fine-tuning upgrade of the build right here. This is the final version because I was able to take the driving leg down by 5 because they were originally things that were tethered to ball handle speed with ball, right? So like if your ball handle was 71, your driving leg had to be 56 or something like that. Now instead the driving leg can go down to like 51. Technically 50, I believe, but there might have been some other tether or something like that as well. So pretty much what I'm gonna come out of this with of a build is the ability to be an on-ball lockdown. It's gonna have 92 perim, 85 steal, 82 block. Nothing real specific of why I went with that block. It's just to be higher. We couldn't get 84 on the build with like, you know, the same ability to get like the 89, 93 point or something like that. Anyway, point being, I just want to explain though, no cap breaks are needed for any defense stuff. As you can see, it's like literally an on-ball defender, lockdown if you will, 87 speed at 6'8" with 84 agility, 91 strength, still has block, steal, perim, interior, all that. 80 rebound for silver rebound chaser to be able to switch on to bigs and reliably somewhat rebound as well, while still having hash shooting as a shooting guard. And mind you, again, I was alright already with the idea of having a build with 75 speed with ball and 71 ball handle to have like pro sigs, have Zach LaVine dribble style, stuff like that, have decent pass ac on the hash for like a typical shooting guard of what people would see. The cutting ability, mediocre, obviously, right? It's not great standing dunk, driving dunk, or anything like that. But now, with just 6 cap breakers, this is like a dream build at that point. This is a perfect shooting guard build if you ask me, with like the ability to actually handle the ball well with 85 ball handle. And this is a 6'8", fellas. Like, this is insane. The only weakness of the build at that point is driving dunk. This is insane. So essentially what I'm getting at here in today's video is that this is a real thing that you're gonna have to play around and plot around quite a bit, because if you were to make this build blindly right here and were to think like, well, this is a bad build, right? Because you're missing out on Zach LaVine dribble style, you're missing out on the pro sigs and stuff like that, and the bronze handles for days with 71 ball handle and stuff like that. And you know, if you weren't really to plan out the cap breakers or anything like that on your build, it might lead to you having some turmoil in that, or for you to just have what looks like a bad build. But turns out that you could just put, you know, 6 cap breakers between speed with ball and ball handle on this specific build right here, and it turns into a legitimate shooting guard build that is an elite defender. We're talking the ability to switch on screens, the ability to play legit good on-ball defense and like get bumpy with like 91 strength and stuff too. Half immovable, the good badge tiering of a 6'8" in general with great speed for the height for that matter too. And like I just think this could truly be a game-breaking build right here on its own. I'm bundling 2 builds into I'm bundling 2 videos into one, if you ask me. I should have made a separate build video for just this build specifically, but I wanted to show you the cap break kind of cheese, if you will, because this is an even more important thing for everybody in generality to know. Like whether it's just for you making a big, a guard, anything like that, finding the fine-tuning of your cap breakers and stuff like that for your specific build. Obviously, I can't do that for thousands of different builds, hundreds of different playstyles, maybe more so dozens of different playstyles in one video. So just understand this is me giving the groundwork for you to try and find stuff like this if you happen to have a cap breaker yourself, that you're able to, you know, then be able to unlock the ability to see what your cap breakers will be for builds. And I'm sure I'll continue to make build videos and stuff like that on ones that try and optimize things like this of cap breakers, because fellas, that's the life we're living in this game. And it's fun, kind of, too, to be fair, but it is very complex. So I understand you're going to see a lot of build videos from me that are kind of centered around stuff like this. And I'm going to try and put into the equation also, how do we kind of fine-tune that for the majority of you to be able to use those cap breakers in a realistic way? Because not everybody's going to have 6 like me early or 7 like me early or anything like that. So I totally understand. I'm going to try and make some flexible builds and stuff like that. And I do think this is a flexible build. For that matter, you could just put 1 cap break into ball handle, 1 cap break into speed with ball, and it's usable at that point. It has the LaVine dribble style, and it has the pro sigs. It's going to be missing handles for days, unfortunately. Maybe if you want to get real scientific, you could maybe put your ball handle to, you know, 66 instead and see if it's still +5. That's the type of stuff I'm talking though, right? You got to go into the builder 5 million times to just even see if that type of thing is going to be attainable. So yeah, it's a handful for sure, but just understand that this is an important thing you're going to have to play around in this game. It's just the truth. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, feel free to drop a like, sub, and new turn on noties. All good stuff. Like always, tries 1 to 2,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video, put cap break or put value in the comments to show your sports all the way through. Really, I cannot stress enough, fellas. Like, there are some heights, some builds, some rating combos and stuff like that that just set you up with things like this, you know? this is, as we showed in the viral Twitter video, it got like 6,000 likes, 400k views, and I just had it in some, you know, buried footage of everything you need to know before making a center build in 2K26 that maybe didn't even see the light of day for some people. Maybe this is your first time finding out about this. So hey, I just wanted to put this in video form on YouTube rather than like, and actually like with a point behind it of that it's the video it's about, rather than just being buried in this, you know, things you need to know before making a center build, and how it correlates to another build that I've seen by this point, and probably will continue to correlate to other builds that I continue to find. So just understand this is something that's in the game, and you can play around the fact that some cap breaks can give you literally plus 50 for doing it 10 times or 5 times. That's crazy. That's an average of 10 per cap breaker in a rating that actually matters and could be usable at that rating. And again, the same goes for the ball handle, going from 71 or 70 in that case, or in this case actually 65 to 85 is a huge deal. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm teaming up with NBA 2K Lab again this year, and like always, they have the best statistical jump shots on their website, put a ton of time into the labbing of those, and on top of that, have exact visual cues now for those jump shots they recommend to you. So first, they find the exact best jump shots and put them into the data that you can use if you buy the premium. Then, on top of that too, they have the ability to even just practice the jump shot if you don't want to sit in the my court, wait for a ball return, or for that matter, even have to track down your own ball. And if you're not someone that wants to use the most meta jump shot of like the best green window and the absolute fastest, what you can do is plug your controller into your PC and shoot 10 shots of what feels comfortable to you, and they'll recommend you one of the jump shots that they've created as well. And again, this is a huge feature right here, the ability to take one of the custom jump shots they've recommended to you and find the exact release point of it and know exactly when to let go of your button on the controller or when to let go of the ball in your player's hands, obviously. And on top of that too, even do motion style tests, and they've got rankings of a ton of dribble moves. So if you want to check this out, like I said, go to NBA2KLab.com or the link in my description and put code LAKER for your promo code. This is going to save you about $1 per month or up to $2 depending on what length of subscription you decide to get. So when you come over to the website, you can hit the sign up tab, come over to the length of subscription you'd like to sign up for, and then hit register. And then when you do hit register, it'll create a coupon code, and you just are going to put in code LAKER right here if you'd like to as well. Now you guys absolutely feel free to sign up for whatever length of subscription you would like to do, but if you want to help me out, I make a percentage based off of the initial subscription price that you pay. So for instance, if you were to get the monthly, I'd only make a percentage off the $7.99, but if you were to do the yearly, I'd make the percentage off of that. So again, feel free to do whatever you'd like to. I don't want to pressure you any which way, but if you want to help me out just in specific, I'd really appreciate that as well. So I hope y'all enjoying the video. Let's get right back to it, but one last time, if you want to subscribe to the NBA 2K Lab Premium, just use code LAKER at checkout for 20% off. Anyway, that's all. Let's get back to the video now. So yeah, most certainly play around this kind of stuff. Look into it with your own build. If you want me to, I'm sure I'll be discovering stuff like this for a lot of different play styles. I'll try and look into it for obviously things that correlate to any of my own builds that I've posted and stuff like that as well. So just stay tuned. I'm gonna keep you guys posted with a lot of stuff like this and see what you can do with this type of information. I just wanted to be the vessel of this information to you to let you get ahead of the game a little bit, you know? And as you can see, like I said, I have 3 cap breakers available pretty soon when the crew hits like, you know, the time expiration of you have to be in a crew for at least 7 days to get those cap breaks. I'm gonna get like +3, maybe even 4, depending on if we can hit level 30 in time. And then like, you know, I mean, man, that's 7 cap breaks right there. And chances are a lot of you guys could at least get like 2, probably 3. And then if you're in a crew and it's leveling up, you're gonna be in the same boat as me. So definitely look into this because it's the name of the game this year when it comes to the builder, and it's going to change it forever, like the title says. No clickbait. So anyway, that's all the video. Hope you all enjoyed. And on that, take it easy, man. Peace.